Esiet sveicināti jau otrajā epizodē. Tie, kas šo skatās, pavisam noteikti jau ir redzējuši aizvadītās nedēļas UFC. Ja arī neesat, noteikti to izdarīt TV3 Sport kanālā atkārtojumā. Bet mums ir nedaudz jāpieskarās, pirms mēs turpinam iepriekšējās nedēļas UFC. Protams, jāsāk ar vakar galveno cīņu Islams Makhačevs pret Čārlzu Oliveru. Ko gan šeit daudz piebilsta, Makhačevam īsti nekādas problēmas Oliveru nesagādā, viņš pārbrauc viņam pāri, kā jau pēdējo dekādi gandrīz wrestlings dominē pār jiu-jitsu. Tā teikt, Čārlza Olivera parastā taktika ar body locku dabūt cilvēku zemē pret šo vīru nestrādās, jo Islams Makhačevs tu nedabūsi viņu zemē tādā veidā, kā Čārlza Olivera parasti to dara. Viņam nav īsti tādi double leg takedown, single leg īpaši. Viņš bieži viens ar body lock to dara, un cilvēki bīstās no viņa partera. Mēs bieži vien esam redzējuši, ka viņu kāds knockdownē un pēc tam baidās iet piebeigt, bet šis bija cits gadījums, jo, kā zinām, Islams Makhačevs nebīstās ne no viena partera, no viena ground game. Viņa wrestling stāv pāri visam, un arī viņš gribēja kaut ko pierādīt, ka Dagestānas wrestlings ir labāks par Brazīļu favelu jiu-jitsu. Un, manuprāt, to viņš arī pierādīja, jo tiklīdz viņš dabūna savus pretinieks zemē, viņi ilgi neiztur, to viņš arī pierādījis ir pirms tam, un Oliveira nebija izņēmums, jo redzējām, tiklīdz viņš šo arm triangle saslēdz, Oliveira reiz notapoja. Tā kā Makhačevam viņam ir šis kalnu spēks, tas pats, kas Habibam, viņiem abiem, es nezinu, kaut ko ūdenim lēja klāts, ticamāk bērnībā, bet es neredzu īsti, kurš šo vīru tuvākajā laikā spējas apturēt. Viņš ir ieskrējies, Habiba troņmantinieks dabīgais ir izpildījis savu pienākumu, viņš šobrīd sēž tronī. Un patiesībā ļoti daudz interesanti matchup mums tagad būs šajā divīzijā, manuprāt, jaunas vēsmas tā teikt. Un Dagestānas kronikas otrā daļa var sākties. Un noteikti mums ir nedaudz jāpieskarās Šona O'Mallija un Pjotru Janu cīņai, jo es tajā skaitā uzskatu, ka Pjotrs Jans uzvarēja šo cīņu, arī komentējot, bija diezgan pārsteigts par rezultātu. Es gandrīz viss rauns atdevu Janam, divus noteikti. Uz Šona O'Mallijas sejas, manuprāt, bija tāpat viss pateikts, kad viņš gaidīja rezultātus, tā kā arī viņš psiholoģiski izskatījās, ka ir zaudējis, mentāli zaudējis. Un Pjotrs Jans tagad pēdējās dienās izsakās, ka apsver nākotni ārpus UFC, jo viņuprāt organizācija viņu nenovērtē. Varbūt kaut kādā ziņā var saprast, kādēļ Pjotrs ir dusmīgs uz visu pasauli. Viņa neveiksmi pret Sterlingu pirmajā cīņā, paša vainas dēļ, protams. Otrajā cīņā, tuvā cīņā zaudēja, kur arī daudz uzskata, ka viņš uzvarēja. Tagad pret Šonu O'Malliju viņš atkal tiek notiesāts, jo lielākā daļa, runāsim atklāt, uzskata, ka viņš uzvarēja. Protams, O'Mallijam akcijas tikai pacēlās, tas ir jāpiemina. Viņš nocīnījās daudz labāk, kā es biju gaidījis. Tā cīņa bija tuva, bet kā man citreiz patīk teikt, ir tuvas cīņas uz priekšu un atpakaļ, bet ir izteikts uzvarētājs, un šī bija tā cīņa, manuprāt. Bet es ceru, ka Pjotrs Jans savāksies, saņemsies un paliks UFC un atgriezīsies uz uzvaru takas, jo, manuprāt, viņš ir viens no labākajiem cīkstoņiem, ne tikai savā svarā, bet visā organizācijā. Bet par to mēs arī paklausīsimies nedaudz epizodes turpinājumā, jo pie manis šodien būs ļoti interesants viesis, manuprāt, Marko Broersens, tiesnesis no Nīderlandes, tiesnesis ar lielo burtu, ar milzīgu pieredzi, aizdījis aptuveni 15,000 cīņas, M1, ACB, ACA, XFC, es jums varētu šos burtu salikums saukt. Viņš ir neskaitāmās organizācijās tiesājis Āzijā, ASV, Eiropā. Jūs tikai nosauc, tur viņš ir bijis. Ļoti interesants stāsts, manuprāt, ir Marko. Viņš ir arī tiesājis cīņas Makhačevam un Habibam. Tā kā, manuprāt, jums būs interesanti paklausīties viņa ieskat arī par šīs nedēļas cīņām. Un, manuprāt, Marko Broersens būs bieži viesis pie mums atpakaļ, tā kā es ceru, ka jūs izbaudīsiet šo epizodu.
Okay, guys, so today we're joined by one of the top European referees, or not the top one, definitely experienced one, Marko Broersens. Welcome, man.
Good afternoon, everybody in Latvia.
I hope I didn't kill your last name. I hope I didn't slaughter it.
No, in every country they make it a different name. Officially in the Netherlands, it's Broersen.
Broersen.
Yeah, Broersen, but difficult to pronounce.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that probably.
No problem. If they call me Ref Marko, that's fine.
Yeah. I remember first time I think I met you was in 2017 in a GFC fight card in Germany. I think who remembers it was a long time ago. I mean, for people who don't know, maybe let's start. How does one even get into refereeing? How did it start and how long ago was it?
Oh, I think I started around somewhere in 1990.
Wow, I wasn't even
Yeah,
born then.
1995, somewhere around that. I started as a judge in Muay Thai, and
Okay.
I got the opportunity to get as a referee. I make it short, as a
Mm.
referee in the ring. So basically, I started as a Muay Thai referee and judge. Then around 95 in Holland, the MMA came up, and yeah, it was interesting. And I get several on a big event or in events. They had MMA matches, and they asked me like, "Hey, can you do that too?" So well, I judoed as a kid, but I never had experience in training MMA. So I want to do that, and then I trained with some local Dutch guys in the gym for MMA. So with Gilbert Eiffel, yeah, he was really
Okay.
basic one of the first. Martijn de Jong, yeah, and the people on their gym. They teach me, yeah, what's an armbar, what's a choke, what is a ground fight, etc., etc. And it got directly my interesting. So at that moment, I was also refereeing for K1. I was the
Of course,
first.
people that don't know, Holland is #1 country for kickboxing, K1. All the legends
Yeah.
come from there.
So I had all the ones from kickboxing and from Muay Thai I had in the ring, and I started also with MMA. So I think in '95 I started the first MMA fights in Holland, and pretty soon I think in '97 or '98 it started with. Then the time it was called M1. It was not M1. I don't know what the name is.
You mean the M1 Global at the
Yeah,
start? Yeah.
yeah. And it was not called MMA, but it was called Karate Jutsu.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a
Old
stand-up
school.
fight, old school.
That's
Yeah, at
old,
that time,
old school.
true. So that was with rope escape and 30 seconds on the ground, and
Mm.
yeah, it was completely new for everybody. So yeah, I started directly in it, but also directly get involved in the rules. Yeah, in the which was good because it was pretty new for me. I had people around it. After every match I did, I talked with experienced pro fighters from, hey, what do you think? How was my refereeing? What should you do about the rules? But on every event they had different rules.
Mm.
So around 2020, 2000, 2001, yeah, the evaluation of MMA worldwide became. So I started getting invitations from everywhere, from Germany, from the Netherlands, from Russia, from everywhere. And yeah, I started basically with M1 as referee, later on as head of referees. And yeah, the rules were yeah, getting clearer. There was more people. Television was involved. Yeah, so
So you basically did it before it was cool, before it became mainstream. You just had the love for the sport.
true. So
Yeah.
it's I start with the training referees and judges in Russia. Yeah, later on also in Germany, in China, in the Netherlands. Yeah, and yeah, it's not my work, it's just a hobby.
It's a
Only
hobby. Yeah.
yeah, I saw the whole world with my hobby. At the end, I was licensed in the US with as a referee. I've been in over 80 times in Russia. I've been in China. I've been in Korea, in Japan, everywhere. So I meet all the great fighters in the world.
A good hobby
Yeah,
to have, right?
that's it. And yeah, I do it at the end. I do it for the sport. I love the sport. Yeah, it was the kickboxing, but MMA got my attention right away. Yeah, and I still do it as yeah, for the sport. It's not my normal job. I earn my money on my work.
Mm.
Yeah, my daily job. I'm an operations manager in transport logistics in hazardous liquids. I'm
Mm.
a dangerous goods expert. And so on weekdays, I
So
say
you're
I'm in
used to
dangerous
being
goods.
next to danger.
Uh, on weekdays, dangerous goods, and in
Yeah.
the weekends, dangerous people.
If you had to guess, how many fights have you ref?
Oh, I lost counting. In the beginning, I thought, but it must be over. If you combine the Muay Thai, K1, and MMA all together, it must be over 15,000 for sure.
15,000 fights.
Yeah, because in the beginning, certainly with kickboxing, you had events and you had like 30, 40, 50 matches on an evening. Yeah, and you were the two referees. So yeah, that counts if you go on Friday, Saturday, Sunday night to go to events. Yeah, that go hard, that go fast.
Wow. Listen, if you've refereed that many fights, like does something pop out? The craziest event you've experienced while being a referee? Is there something that instantly comes to your mind?
That was first the first event ever on certain places. So we had the first MMA event, for instance, in Denmark. Yeah, and on the rules meeting, I like to have a rules meeting still. Yeah, I like to talk to the fighters, which I get in the cage or in the ring, or have a rules meeting. But at that time, it was the beginning. Yeah, it was the first event, and there was a match. The rules meeting was the day before the event, and what caught my attention was like, hey, the people of the main fight were not in. And at the end, it looked like the main event, two fighters brought in, and it were two gang leaders of motor gangs.
Okay.
Yeah. And they just want to fight into a ring.
That sounds fun.
That's it. And after 30 seconds, one gives the other one a headbutt. Yeah, and that time we had yellow cards, and I gave him a yellow card, and the coach jumped in and said, "Hey, but this is free fight, so you can do everything." I said, "No, but if you would be on the rules meeting yesterday, you heard like headbutts are not allowed." And so we restarted. Normally you would disqualify, but it was a different time. Yeah, it was completely new, and I restarted the fight, and directly within 20 seconds, another headbutt came in. So I waved off the fight directly, and a lot of people came into the ring. I just walked out like I don't know what's happening here, you know. But yeah, that was another time, you know. Now
that was back in the dark ages of MMA.
Yeah, you could restart then. That was a fight when somebody was kicked to the head during a ground fight. That a promoter or people came around and said, "Yeah, it was not on purpose, etc." Restart the fight. Yeah, that's a thing you never would do again at this moment. The sport elevate. That's it. And but this was fun to deal with. Certainly, in the
definitely,
beginning.
It's fun to look back now, right? Laugh at it. But I have some kind of not similar questions, but not quite. Have you ever, like, what was the biggest mismatch you've seen in your career? You know, when fighter A and fighter B are totally different levels and they should never have been put together.
I had an exhibition. I had an exhibition match in Tokyo. It was Fedor against Aoki. So different weights. But it was an exhibition match, so it was not a real match at the end, but it was fun to do. I had one event, it was called in MMA Attack in Poland, where a bodybuilder, the main fight was a bodybuilder of 120 kilograms against a male stripper around 90 kilograms.
What, male stripper?
Yeah, that's it. It was... And the one that was running away, and the other one was chasing him, and yeah, that was a straight. But hey, I did pride matches, so I'm used to those kind of freak fights. Yeah,
Marko, listen, you would agree. Only stuff like this happens in Japan. Japan is the only place where you can see stuff like this, freak shows.
But still, as a referee, you're there for the safety of the fighter.
Of course.
Yeah, that's rule number one, and it was in the beginning, and it still is. And hey, if you have a freak show and both are assigned to this match and agree with it, yeah, as long as they obey the rules and if they're safety. I told the promoter in Poland also, like, hey, if one guy, the 120 guy, hits the other one, which is under 90, and I see he flying through the cage, yeah, I can, after one hit, I can stop the fight.
Of course, yeah.
And that's it. And if the promoter agrees on that, yeah, as long as I can take a decision, yeah, I feel confident with it, I can continue with those kind of fights as long as there are rules. I got invitations also in the past, like we have fights without any rules. You don't need a referee, you need a good doctor. Don't invite me then, because the sport has rules, and if it's without rules, you don't need a referee at all.
Of course. And another one, I mean, you had a lot of experience, obviously, but you've also refereed a lot of big names, like events with Fyodor Emelianenko, Sergey Kharitonov, like countless of them. Was there some fight, where you were nervous before an event? You had like, holy shit, this is a big one.
I had an event which was in Moscow. That was the event where Fedor fought against, I think,
Maldonado?
No. How's the American guy, the ground fighter? I'm terrible with names sometimes.
The ground guy, American guy. Which one of them? I have no idea.
But, I think one of the first fights Fedor fought back in Moscow. It was for 20,000 people around in the Olympic Sport Palace. Putin was there also, but at least there were 20,000 people inside. And if you ref then and the audience goes crazy, but that gives you goosebumps. But I never was. No matter how big the fighter was, I was never nervous to referee a fight. I'm always the same, and because in my opinion, a newcomer's match is more difficult to referee at the end than pro fights, because with pro fight you know what to expect. Yeah, and with amateur match, you certainly don't know what to expect. I did
I agree.
Fabricio Verdum against Alexander Emelianenko. I did here on Pride Rules in the Netherlands. But at that time, the audience in the Netherlands were not so aware about the MMA rules, but it was really a big match. Yeah, and of course I was thrilled, and the more people and the more bad blood or the sounds around it, the more I love the game. As long as they keep the rules, and you can play with the rules, as long as you don't cross the line.
I think you were talking about Jeff Monson, right? Fedor against Jeff Monson.
That's it.
Yeah.
That event, it was fully crowded in Moscow, and it was an awesome atmosphere. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome, man. All right, so we have to talk about this week's UFC, last week's UFC already. 2 title fights, some controversial decisions. First, I want to talk about TJ Dillashaw against Aljamain Sterling fight. When TJ Dillashaw came in with an injured shoulder, it is a referee's job. I was commentating the fight, and it was obvious his shoulder is hurt, and I was thinking, when should the referee stop this? Because it was so obvious that he's on one hand, and when should the referee save the fighter from himself?
I think Mark Goddard did a really good thing to keep on pushing him. Like, hey, is your shoulder okay? Of course you see it, dislocated shoulder, you can see it, but as long as the fighter is technically or mentally defending himself, who am I to stop a fight? But on the other hand, we talked about it, the first thing is safety of the fighter. Yeah, and an arm, you can say an arm is an arm, but if he doesn't fight anymore and still, it's good. The only thing is, in the front, the doctor should take a decision in this one. I always follow the doctor's advice. Yeah, if they say like you can continue, I don't think the referee knew it in advance before the start, because if the referee knows, his opponent knows, everybody knows. But it was clear that after a few minutes he had an injury. And I think Mark did a good job there to keep on pushing him. Like, hey, are you okay? Is your arm okay? Can you continue? Hold your arm up, and if you see like hey, he does this, okay, then everything is working. Only you have to protect him at the end. It's the co-main event. But still, keep your minds in it.
I mean, fighters are too tough for their own good sometimes. You have to save them from themselves. And TJ, as we all know, he's a warrior. He's not giving up. He would fight the whole 5 rounds with one arm if he could. So Mark, I think, did a really good job by stopping that fight in the second round. He gave him plenty of chances. He was getting his head beat out.
That's it. And it yeah, a lot of respect for the fighter who goes so far for it. Yeah.
Definitely.
I look to myself in it. If a pro fighter is in an overstretched armbar, yeah, at amateur you can stop because it's overstretched. Yeah, but if a pro fighter is in the armbar and he doesn't tap out, yeah, it's quite easy for me. It's tap or snap.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's his job, and I will not protect his fighter because I see an overstretched armbar. Yeah, one can have more overstretched than the other one, but yeah, if it breaks, it breaks. But if you see that the fighter is injured, yeah, if it's a leg, also they're limping with a leg. Yeah, you still keep on talking. You want to continue. You want to continue. You keep on talking with it, and as long as he is defending himself and he can fight back, yeah, you don't stop it. The only thing is you can warn him all the time. But at
As
the
a
end,
referee,
see,
you don't want to stop a legendary fight or legendary comeback. You know, for example, Nate Diaz or someone, right? He's getting beat up, but he does this comeback, and you, as a referee, can steal this moment from him, right?
I've stopped fights with one hit and somebody didn't defend himself and
Mm.
was wobbly on his feet. You stop it, and on the other end, I had fights where both fighters were wobbly on the feet and still hitting on each other's head. The crowd goes mad, but they still have their hands up and
Mm-hmm.
still fighting. And during the fight or in a round, the fight can change from blue to red or from red to blue. Yeah, so you have it's a referee, certainly experienced referee. You have to feel a match.
Definitely. So, what was the favorite fight you refereed? What's your favorite fight where you refereed and thought, "Wow, this is awesome. I love my job."
I did so many in Russia.
Probably,
I
yeah.
had so many awesome fights, almost or even above UFC level. Yeah,
I
what we see
agree.
now.
I agree.
Yeah, with Islam Makachev this weekend. Yeah, I refereed him also in Russia. I think once or twice. Yeah, those kinds of fighters. If you go to Chechen or Ingushetia or whatever, those people are
Different
awesome. I
breed.
don't know what they put there in the water, but they make champions there.
I agree.
They make champions. So I see so many. Yeah, I'm happy. I've refereed so many good matches. I can put 10 on the line. Yeah, that I said like, hey, this was an awesome fight.
So you mentioned Islam Makhachev already, so we're going to talk about a bit about that. So when you refereed him back in, I don't know what year it was, did you already could see that this guy's special? He's going to be a big star?
Yeah, but I saw that also with Khabib. I think I didn't referee Khabib. I think I watched it, but I don't know. I did so.
Mm.
I've been over 80
You've done
times in Russia.
15,000. I forgive you. You forget
That,
some.
that that's it. Yeah, but there are certain fighters which I saw in Russia fighting or in amateur championships fighting.
Oh,
Yeah, that
yeah.
I saw like, hey, those are big names, and they went to the UFC, and now with Makachev became champion, and the same is with Khabib. And yeah, I'm not a manager or something like that, or but there are so many good people, and sometimes you don't hear after a year something. So it's development. Sometimes they come back and pop up at UFC and say, hey, I know this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
With Makachev, of course, I followed him. Yeah, at UFC also, and a lot of people say like, yeah, but not good opponents, blah blah blah. But you still, MMA is a game. Yeah, if you control this game, you can win. You can win everything, or you can lose everything. It depends on how you're training, how mentally you're going. Yeah, and with Makachev, I always had the idea like, he can beat everything in his weight class. True.
I mean, those Dagestani guys, I don't know how many world champions there are in Dagestan. You walk on the streets in Dagestan, oh, there's one FC champion, there's the wrestling, freestyle wrestling world champion. They're just made different in those mountains, I think, you know?
That's what I said. Like I don't know what they
Yeah,
put in the water, but they
yeah.
make it there. It's natural. There are natural fighters. Yeah, true.
They're born with cauliflower ears,
And and
basically.
and, and I'm lucky. I've been in Dagestan. I've been in Chechen. I've been in Ingushetia. All those areas. Yeah, and they put up shows, and you have the level of the shows there already at that time. They were so high. Yeah, that I always
Did
said like,
you did you referee those events that they had outside, you know, where you can see all the
in the
mountains in
mountains.
Ingushetia, I
Yeah,
think.
English
How was
agent,
that like refereeing in a place like that?
That's
Right?
the same, you know. If you have a location like that, you have really unique locations where you can referee. Yeah, outside in the mountains, we had days, and it started in the morning because it has to be finished when it's getting dark. You have to be out of the mountains. Yeah, but we had days the whole day rain, and we had the whole day like 25, 30 degrees on this high altitude. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
altitude. Yeah, but we also there great matches. Yeah,
I wish more
and
organizations would do that, you know, like gladiator, old time stuff, you know, like mountains and in the background and everything. It has a special feel about it, I think.
already the road to there is funny because everybody jumps in small cars. People are there barbecuing outside, and you talk about between the. I think the biggest event there was with 23,000 people on the mountains.
I think Makacho was fighting in one of those events as well.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
True.
yeah. I remember that fight. I think I watched it even. Yeah. So, all right. The third one we have to talk, and this is probably the most interesting one. Pjotru Janu against Šona O'Mallija. So, me, myself, I was commentating the fight, and I almost had all rounds for Pjotru Janu. Definitely two of them. But as you know, they gave the win to Šona O'Mallija. What do you think as an experienced referee?
The thing is, if I watch UFC, I'm relaxing. So I'm like everybody. I have some inside information. I know fighters. I know the rules a little bit. What's a hit? First of all, if we see it on television, yeah, you see so many angles. Yeah. So you see really basically every hit. Now you have three judges around a cage or a ring. Yeah. But they all see another view. Yeah, if I put my hand like this and you're sitting on that, you see what here. You don't see what's happening on the other side. So if it is a hit or not a hit, you can't see it. It was a close fight. That's first of all. In my opinion, the first round was for Pjotru Janu, and the third round was for Pjotru Janu. In the second round, I gave to O'Mallija. Although the third round was close fight, it went left to right. I have to those kind of matches I would like to have on when I train people. I put this one as to judge, and then I can see it because I look at it as a spectator and not as a judge. If you judge it, it's different because you really put every point. And I was amazed. Like on the other hand, it was a close fight, but I was certainly giving this one as a spectator to Pjotru Janu and not to O'Mallija. So I was amazed about the outcome, but on the other hand, I know if it's a close fight and you can't count every hit clearly from close by, it's the same with the knockout. We say, hey, if the referee stoppage was too early or was too late, the referee is the closest by. It's always different. I can say it out of experience. It's always different than that you have 10 cameras on it from all angles. So controversial, yeah, in my opinion. Also, I was like, whoa. I don't talk about robbed, yeah, because it was a close fight.
It was close. It was close, yeah.
But on the end, I had the feeling it would totally go to Pjotru Janu, to Pjotr, and not to O'Mallija. So
you have these close fights. You have these close fights, but you have a clear winner sometimes. And the fight is close back and forth, but there's one guy that was the winner. And I agree with you. I had 2 rounds for Pjotru Janu as well. Even Šona O'Mallija didn't believe he won. I mean, that says a lot as well. So
for me, the same. If I saw his face, like at the end, I was like, what?
He even had his head down and everything. He was mentally broken as well. He was sure he lost that fight, but
he did amaze me.
Yeah,
he did amaze me in this fight because I thought at home also to my girlfriend. I said like, this won't go to the second round because the guy who is hyped on the internet, blah blah blah, and goes on, but he really did a good job in the first round. It looks like he would lose the fight, but the second certainly the second round I gave to O'Mallija for sure.
I agree with you. His stock definitely went up a little bit because I didn't give him that big of a chance, and he surprised me a little bit. Yeah, he could hang in with Pjotru Janu, which in my opinion, Pjotru Janu, in my opinion, is one of the best pound for pound. He got boxing, he got wrestling, he got takedown defense top notch, super cardio. He's a freak.
His coach would tell to him probably like, don't leave it to the judges.
Exactly.
because
That's what Dane always says.
he should have done more to convince the judges. Maybe the judges expect more of it. All those kind of things are in it. As a judge, also, of course, you hear the audience, you see the fighters. It was I think it was a split decision also, though.
It was a split decision. Yeah,
split decision. Yeah, I think it for in my eyes it was a 29-28 for Pjotru Janu.
Same with me.
Again, I didn't count. If I'm looking as a spectator, I'm not looking as a judge.
Yeah, I agree with you, definitely. I mean, what was that popped out? Yeah, I think we covered this event. And what's going on in Marko Broersens' life? When's the next event when you're refereeing?
Next event. This weekend I go to Hamburg. I have a K1 an evening with K1 fights. That's from a colleague referee I started with at the K1 when the original K1 came to Europe. I did all the shows together with Phil Geurders. He became a close friend of mine, and every year already, I think for 20 years, I referee once a year all his matches on a K1 event. Yeah, he has a good
like
show.
A tradition.
That's like a tradition for sure. Then I come back. And I'm 1 week at house at home, and then I go to Thailand. And Thailand, we have the Gama World Amateur. Not World, Asian Championships in
the
Thailand.
The European was right now, right?
The European, it was in Georgia.
Georgia, yeah.
And we met the Latvian team there.
Yeah, they got some medals as well.
That's it. I always like the people from Latvia from the beginning. They're always fighter, but at the end, very friendly people. Sometimes, if you see so many fighters or coaches like me, people come to me. It's like I remember faces, but hey, you refereed my match. Oh, I don't know, but those people also I didn't know them from the face, and they came to, hey Marko, how are you? And it's I remember the face. Nice people to talk with. So, and when I'm back, then I go to the UK in 3 weeks, and I have there an event of my close friend, the commentator, ex-UFC fighter,
Dan Hardy?
Ian Freeman.
Oh, Ian Freeman. Okay.
Ian Freeman, he has his local show there, and when I have the time and he likes it, I come over and referee there. I traveled the whole world with him. I was as a referee. He was an experienced former UFC fighter. Yeah, so very interesting for me to talk with, and he was commentating. We traveled the whole world together, so yeah, that's fun. And then you get a special bond with each other.
Oh, definitely. Nothing. I truly believe that nothing creates a bigger bond than fighting sports. Even the opponents, once you finish fighting, you have this connection for life. I think when two people fight, I truly believe that.
If I see the hype with Makhachev, from last weekend's fights also, and I love bad blood. No problem to go toe to toe, nose to nose, as long as you behave yourself and at the end respect. Don't go
shake
to
hands
disrespect.
In the end.
That's it. But if the fight is over, go together to a bar, shake its hand, go to the bar and drink something together. And that's what I love in MMA, and I saw it so many times. Before the fight, of course, they're opponents of each other. They can be bad blood, but after the fight, they shake hands and they well done to the winner. And that's what I love at the end.
I agree, Marko. I couldn't have said it better, man. Listen, you're traveling a lot now. Your wife is probably not loving this hobby of yours, right?
She doesn't know a different. She met me over 20 years ago, and that time I was every weekend I was away, and sometimes almost the whole weekend. And I become some older. I don't have kids. And now it's like once in a week. Of course, in the COVID period, I really missed it. The traveling, it put on a hold. I had some in the neighborhood, but at the end, I'm getting older. Yeah, so I have to get used to the normal life and to be at home once in the 2 weeks. Yeah, but the life after
she knew what she signed up for, right?
That's it. That's it.
Listen, man, we're running out of time. It was a pleasure talking to you as always, and I think you'll be back. I think even if we have some controversial UFC decisions, I will gladly have you on again, man.
Oh yeah, I never talk personally about people, but if you want to have my opinion, I have some clear opinions, and I don't hide for it. Yeah, the only thing I don't do is point to people. It's very easy to go to a referee and say you did a lousy job, not a good job. It's the same with Mark Goddard. Yeah, but he did there a good job, and you can tell that also. Yeah, but I don't like to offend people or judges or whatever. It's their opinion at that moment, and I know out of experience it can always be different. Yeah, but if you need some opinions or decision, I can tell you whatever I want, and that's my opinion. And,
I respect that, man. I'm the same. I'm just saying what I think, and if it's the truth, just take it. Right.
Hey, it's my opinion, and in my opinion, your opinion is the truth. It won't have to be that we agree with each other. Doesn't matter, but it's always the truth because it's your opinion at the end.
Exactly, Marko. Listen, well, you'll definitely be back. I just don't know when, but it was a pleasure talking to you, man. Awesome insight, and we'll talk to you soon.
You have my you know how to reach me.
I know how to reach you.
That's it.
Yeah. Bye, man.
Bye.
Okay,
cheers. Have a nice evening.
You too.
Ko es ceru, ka jums patika šī mazā vai netik mazā saruna ar Marko Broersenu. Viņš pavisam noteikti atgriezīsies vēl pie mums, bet tas šīs nedēļas sērija pavisam noteikti ir viss. UFC arī atgriežas, nekur viņš nav pazudis. Sestdienas naktī Arnolds Allens pret Kalvinu Katāru. Tā kā diezgan aizraujoša cīņa, manuprāt, diezgan svarīga cīņa divīzijā. Varbūt turnīrs nav no tiem lielākajiem, kā jau mēs zinām, it īpaši pēc šiem pay-per-view. Bet kā man patīk teikt, bieži vien tie mazie vārdi, nezināmie vārdi parāda labākās cīņas, jo viņiem ir ko pierādīt. Tā kā slēdziet klāt TV3 Sport, kā jau parasti, nekur citur UFC pie mums nerāda. Un arī brīvdienās Edgars Skrīvers aizdīs savu cīņu Karate Combat, to jūs varēsiet redzēt karate.com, un arī TV3 LV būs izlikta informācija, protams, par Edgara gaidāmo cīņu. Es no jums atvados, un mēs tiekamies jau nākamreiz. Un kas būs nākamajā reizē? Es jums patiesībā neteikšu. Gaidiet vienkārši nākamo reizi.